welcome to my channel. I'm Katie. This is Katie's Bookish Escape, and today I'm going to be talking about my spring TBR. So I know spring's already started. We're like in late March now, but I've decided for TBRs I'm going to do it by season, even though I live in Southern California and we don't get seasons, but it's just, that makes more sense to me. I'll still do a monthly wrap up, but I just thought it's too hard to pick like things to read in a month because I'm very much a mood reader. Alright, so first off, you're going to notice a lot of YA on this TBR, and that is specifically because I am going to Y'all West, which is like the YA festival. I had the opportunity to be a chaperone for kids at my school to go. So I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm more excited than the kids. So there are some authors on here where like I might be able to meet them, so I really want to read their books by then. Alright, this is in no particular order, but other than the first two books I've already started. So the first one, this is not YA, this is adult high fantasy. This is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, the first book in the Stormlight Archive. I'm really excited for this series. I've heard amazing things. I'm a little bit concerned because I didn't love Hero of Ages, which is the third Mistborn book, as much as I thought I would. But just the way it's starting, I'm really liking the characters so far. I am reading it and listening on an audiobook, and sometimes I really have to like open up the book because I realize I'm like, what character are they talking about? And you know, sometimes it's hard to understand fantasy on an audiobook in the beginning. So at least like adult epic fantasy. So yay. Then another one I've already started is They Both Die in the End by Adam Silvera, and he is going to be at Y'all West. So I was like, oh, I have this book, I'm gonna read it. I don't know why I started it and haven't picked it up again. Like, I'm already super intrigued by the plot. It sounds like something that's probably gonna make me like cry a lot, and that's okay. I like that. So we'll see. Alright, then we have the most hype book ever, Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. She's going to be at Y'all West. I also want to get this in my class library because it's a big book. It's taking room on my shelves. So unless like I absolutely like it's a 5-star for me, I'll put it in my class library. If I love it and I want to keep it, then I'll get another copy and take off this Target sticker. But we'll see. By the way, this is YA fantasy. Alright, now we're in the no particular order. We have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is on my February TBR. I didn't get around to it. This copy has water damage. It's used, so I bought it on my Kindle, and I'm probably going to read it as an ebook. This is historical fiction. It takes place it's about two sisters during Nazi-occupied France. So that's really all I know about it. I'm excited. I'll probably love it. History teacher, history lover. I think it will be fine. The next one, a movie's coming out, and I didn't even know that, but I just love this 80s used copy, and I was like, I really need to read more horror because I do like Stephen King, and that is Pet Sematary. So I'm kind of excited. It's the only horror thriller on my TBR, and I mean, it's just, I love it. Then I have the first volume of The Steel Prince by V.E. Schwab. I love the Shades of Magic series. I love V.E. Schwab. Okay, V.E. Schwab, Victoria Schwab. My shirt literally says "As Travars," which is a phrase from the Shades of Magic series, means to travel. But what's holding me back is I do not like the character this is based on, or I don't like him in the Shades of Magic series. So this is a prequel graphic novel series or comic book series about the king in Red London in the Shades of Magic series, who's the father of one of the main characters, and I didn't like him in the series, so I don't know how she's gonna win me over with him. We'll see. Then this one is very random. This is a YA, I think it's YA, yes, YA historical fiction about two girls who strike up a friendship who are in an internment camp together in the US. I believe one of them is white and one of them is Japanese American. And they both have family members who may or may not be colluding with the Nazis. So I saw this in the Scholastic, or on Scholastic, because I do Scholastic orders for my kids, and I just thought it sounded really cool because you don't get a lot of historical fiction YA and I love World War II history. And if I like it and I think it's good for the students, I could recommend it to them, for especially the ones who don't really like to read about like history. I just realized I didn't say the name of this book author. It's Monica Hess. Great, so Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa, and this is a Japanese inspired fantasy. I think it's YA. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Because I love YA and regular like adult fantasy, I don't necessarily always pay attention to that. But I don't really know a whole lot about it other than it is Japanese inspired, and I love Japanese history. I teach about feudal Japan, and I got the UK version because I thought this cover was gorgeous with the katanas. Oh, love it. Then next one is a book by a booktuber, one of my favorite booktubers of all time, and that is Miss Elliott Brooks, and this is her book, Peace in Turmoil. It's an adult epic fantasy. It's going to be a series, so this is the first book in the series, and I'm super excited. Very pretty, beautiful cover by Captured in Words, who is also a booktuber, and they do a collaborative book channel with several other booktubers called World Hoppers, and it's all about like a lot about it fantasy, but just about like booktube and reading, and I love them. I love all of them. They're great. Now this one I did read the first chapter of, and that's funny because in reviews I've read it's like, oh my god, the first chapter is awful and then it gets so good. I didn't think it was that terrible, but it wasn't great, but or like not like, I don't know, like it wasn't like, oh yay, this is great. It was a little gross. I think that's what they mean. And this is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. He's also going to be at Y'all West. And I know like Victoria Schwab says that his writing is like, people who like her books usually like his books and vice versa. So I think I'll like it. This is an adult fantasy, by the way. Then we have Crown of Feathers by Nikki Palparetto, and this book was in the Owl Crate box for February, and I haven't got around to it yet. I know it's a YA fantasy, and it has to do with a phoenix, or people who like phoenixes. I don't know. I did watch Elliott Brooks' review of it. She did say it's very much so a setup book, and I don't have a problem with that, so we'll see if I like it. I heard there's a lot of world building, and sometimes I could get bored with world building, but we'll see. Alright, then this book I'm a little worried because I've heard a lot of like mixed reviews, but it's a YA urban fantasy, I want to say, or I don't know, mystical realism maybe. And that's Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I've heard a lot of people are disappointed in this series. She is going to be at Y'all West. I'm going to give it a chance because I do love carnival settings. So we'll see. Like Carnival, or whatever the heck the name was of the HBO show is one of my favorite shows of all time. I know this is not going to be anything like that, but that just, like that, and I love the night circus. Anything that has to do with the circus or carnival, I'm very, like, I love that atmosphere. So, I don't know. Now, this book, I'm dying to read it. I just keep pushing it back and back because there are certain books that I feel like I have to read first. Not to understand this book, just like for goals or whatever. And this is an urban fantasy, YA fantasy, I want to say, or dystopian, I guess. And this is Scythe by Neal Shusterman. I've only heard amazing things. It's about a utopian society where no one can die except for if they are chosen by the Scythes, who are people who get to pick who dies. I don't know how 100% accurate my description is because I have not read the book, but that's the basic plot. I'm super excited, and yeah. Then we have The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert, also going to be at Y'all West. This cover is gorgeous, except I think I said in my last one I cut it, and that sucks. It's a fairy tale retelling. I've heard mixed reviews about it. We'll see. It's like an Alice in Wonderland retelling, I guess. I'm excited. We'll see. If anything, if nothing else, like the cover is gorgeous. Yeah. Then we have the series, the Remnant Chronicles series, starting with The Kiss of Deception. So hopefully I like the first one and then I'll continue the whole series. If not, I'll just shove it in my class library because I'm sure my middle schoolers would like it. It's YA fantasy series. To my knowledge, I don't really know like jack about it. So but she is also going to be at Y'all West. And then because it's been on my TBR way too long, An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I'm really interested in this because it's a YA fantasy that is supposed to be inspired by Roman history, and I don't know how inspired it's going to be. I'm very into Roman history, so maybe it's just like loosely inspired, but the more that's in there, the more I'm sure I'll like it, so we'll see. Then I have a few ebooks or audiobooks that I plan to read. One of them is Dear Martin, and forgive me, I didn't put the author's name, but I'll have the picture right here. And that author is going to be at Y'all West. Also, The Sun Is Also a Star. I've heard mixed reviews, but I don't know. It sounds like a contemporary romance where the characters like only have like one day together. And I love the Before trilogy by Richard Linklater, Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. And I know those are like more adult and more about like dialogue and stuff, but I'm not like opposed to that plot. Like, I'm not one of those people who's like super hating on, I don't want to even say insta-love, but like insta infatuation or just like being really into someone really fast. Like, I don't really hate on that. And then also, last but not least, I got an ebook by a booktuber, and her name is Savvy, and the book is Sculpt Yourself. And I've read the first paragraph already. I'm already digging it really quite a bit. It's a YA book about, basically all about like body image and like what if like you could take a pill that like could change your body in ways you wanted, and like a critique on like a social critique thing. And I already love her voice and the writing. I'm loving it so far, so I expect to love it. Also, I started listening to The Gentleman Bastards book 1, which is called The Lies of Locke Lamora. I've heard If You Like Six of Crows is a very good like adult comparison to that, and I'm already loving it. I'm listening to an audiobook, and I also bought the ebook, and I'm going back and forth. Alright, so that is it for my spring TBR. So feel free to comment down below on any of these books. Did you read them? Did you love them? Did you hate them? Do you want to read any of these as well? And yeah, feel free to comment down below and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. I apologize about my voice. I'm still getting over sickness. So yeah, bye.